Did you guys know that today is the last day to enter to win our giveaway? We are giving away a brand new Talaria Sting MX5 Pro, just like this one. This is our personal bike and we're absolutely loving it. But you guys are gonna win a brand new one in a box. It might just get shipped to your doorstep. So go click the link down in the video description. Go enter to win right now because tonight the giveaway ends. And if you guys go pick up one of these $20 Talaria Boys t-shirts, you're gonna get a heck of a lot of bonus entries, and they're actually nice shirts. We wear them all the time. Let's get this video started. What's up guys, welcome back to the channel. Here we have our Surron Ultra Bee, and it is time to do another upgrades video and talk about all the changes that this has had since we first bought it. We've been putting some miles on it, putting it to the test, and last night went on a crazy muddy ride testing our new battery, which we'll talk about in a minute. So to start off the video, we're gonna give this bike a quick wash and go over all the upgrades and talk about how they have transformed this bike for the better. Now that the bike is clean, we can go over some of the upgrades and modifications that we've done. Previously, if you guys saw our last video, we were in Moab and we had just installed the Sirris Ultra Bee fork and the Sirris Ultra Bee rear shock. It's not on it right now, but that's what we were testing at the time. But now we've done more modifications. As you can see, we've installed an EBMX X9000 V2 controller. We got the limited edition orange heatsink. Doesn't match quite perfectly, but if you look at it in the sun, it looks really nice. Another big modification we did is we added an E-watt 80 volt 76 amp hour battery. This thing is absolutely massive. We're going to be testing that later on in the video and showing how much range we can get. I did a big ride, as I mentioned last night. Was very impressed with how far this bike would go. Next up, to go along with those performance upgrades, we added a upgraded Sotion FW01 Pro Ultra Bee motor. That solved our overheating issue, and I had a great experience with it last night on its first maiden voyage. Continuing on with talking about the power and performance of this Ultra Bee with the X9000 controller, the upgraded battery, and the upgraded motor, we started with just a controller, and we ran that for about 2 months. We did a lot of miles on it. And the one thing I have to say, I don't know if it's worth doing an upgraded controller on the stock battery and motor, at least in my opinion. We didn't get enough improvement in performance in my mind to justify the price of a controller unless you do plan to upgrade your battery. Then basically, if you climb any kind of steep stuff, you will be overheating your motor super easily unless you upgrade your motor too. So it's kind of a slippery slope with the Ultra Bee. If you do a controller, you're gonna wanna do a battery, but a battery is $3,800 for this one, so it's extremely expensive, so it is hard to justify unless oftentimes you're doing these 40 to 50 mile rides where you really want this kind of range. So that is why we did the whole combo, is because the controller didn't provide as much power as we wanted and our motor was still overheating. So once we got the battery, we had to do the motor, and now the combo is working really nicely. Let's jump into suspension now because we've had some things change since our last video, and then we'll come back and talk more about this battery when we're testing it later. As you can see, we still have the Sirris front fork on here. This is the new Ultra Bee version. We have the 260 mil travel variant. Since we've gotten this fork, we've gone through several tune iterations to basically soften it and try to make it better for trail riding. And we've been going down that road, and I think we're still not quite happy with it. Basically, we started with the EBMX tune, which on their scale from 1 to 10 is rated at a 7, which is just before motocross at an 8 and supercross at a 9. The trail tune is rated at a level 4, and the hard enduro tune is rated at a level 1, which is extremely plush. I tried out a level 1, I tried out a level 4, and we ended up tuning this to a variant of the trail tune level 4. With the tune we have set up right now, I'm still only been able to use about 6.5 inches of the 11 inches of total travel. Now it does have hydraulic bottom out and a few things that basically limit you from using the full 11 inches unless you're bottoming out really hard on a huge jump or something. So we've got to make it softer because we should be able to at least get close to bottoming out on a normal type of trail ride that we do frequently. We don't take this bike to the motocross track, we don't jump it, we don't send anything big. It needs to be plush and stable for plowing through rock gardens, which right now it's just not doing. So that leads me to talk about the rear shock. So right now you'll see we have the EXT Rhea on this bike, and I had not tried a Rhea. We run EXT suspension front and back on our light bikes, and we absolutely love it. I think it's worth every penny. So I'm not surprised to put on the Rhea and have it feel, in my opinion, superior to the Sirris rear shock. Now, the jury's still out on that. I would like to still put some more time on it and try it in different scenarios. But for the type of riding I like to do, I immediately noticed a difference and feel like this shock has a very good variableness to it, if that makes sense. When I'm riding over rocks, it eats it up. If I'm riding over small rocks, it eats it up. If I go over a big whoop, it eats it up. And I feel like it is providing a good comfort and feel and performance to the bike anywhere I ride it. Whereas the Sirris rear shock, I think it really just feels like it's better on the bigger hits. So this is a trial and error process. I'm not knocking Sirris, I'm just explaining my experience with this new prototype suspension that will be hitting the market soon. Let's move on to wheels and tires. So in our last video, we were running some 18-21-inch Warp 9 Ultra Bee wheels. They were a loaner set from Warp 9 while these awesome orange ones were getting built. As you can see, they look absolutely perfect and they match our ECD Customs decal kit perfectly. So we're super stoked on those. We love Warp 9 stuff, you guys know that. If you guys are interested in any of the parts on this bike, check the link down in the video description. You can head on over to our website. We have the full Ultra Bee section, so any parts that are on there you guys know will fit because we've tested them, tried them, and we approve of them. Mounted to the wheel, we have a Tusk T45 100/118 rear tire. This is a great tire. I'm actually really liking it, and it's definitely on the less expensive side compared to any of the competition. This tire is like $65 or something, where the competitors like a Dunlop or something are well over 100. So in my opinion, I'm really liking that. I have a little bit of budget option so that I can wear it out and not worry about having to spend so much money to replace it. If we move on to the front, again, we got the Warp 9 orange Ultra Bee wheel, and here we have a Dunlop MX34 front tire. This is a really good option. I am liking it. And we do have the 260 mil Warp 9 front floating rotor. So that's an upgrade, gave us more braking performance, which I'll be honest, was needed. I really love the Ultra Bee brakes and they do perform extremely well. However, when you add big 18-21 wheels and tires and you add like 40 pounds of weight to this bike, you start to need a little bit more braking. Next up on our list of upgrades that we have done, we did a Gigago upgraded headlight. This is one option that we run on pretty much all of our bikes now because it's the brightest light we have ever tried. It's 40 watts and it has high and low beam and 3 different power modes. You turn it all on here, so you can still use the on and off switch like as a kill switch basically. Once you turn it on, you do have to reach down, turn that light on like that. Now I really like this light. We don't currently sell a kit to be able to mount it to your Ultra Bee. We did have to custom pin a plug and mount it with some spacers on here. So if you guys are interested in a Gigago for your Ultra Bee, drop us a comment and ask us to build the fit kit, because I think we can build something for like 15 bucks to where you guys can buy a Gigago, select you have an Ultra Bee, and then it will be plug and play, ready to go. All right, guys, I know I've been talking for a long time. Really quick, I got to shout out ECD Customs for designing this decal kit, installing it for us. I think it is probably the coolest kit we've ever done. I love orange and blue, so I'm super stoked to have this bike set up like this. We do also have battery stickers that we may put on at some point, but right now we got to rep that eWatt battery because it is giving us incredible range that you guys will see later. So with that, let's open up this battery compartment and show you guys the fit and finish and plug and play aspect of this battery, because it's been awesome. So if you pop her seat off, same deal here. We got this lid. So this is a new lid that you get when you purchase their upgraded battery. It's still, you just move your hinges over. So you'd move, if I can get them off. So you'll move these both over, you'll move this over, and then you just mount it up there. So there it is. And if you'll notice, we still have the same OEM plug and comms port. So what I love so much about this is you could still totally switch out and put your stock battery back in here. You can still use this lid. Your batteries could rattle up and down just a little bit, but I tested it. If you just put like a little towel or a piece of foam in here, it holds it super snug. And then that is awesome if you're doing like a really long race or something and want to be able to hot swap your batteries. So I think that's really nice. Again, this is 80 volt 76 amp hour, which comes out to over 6,000 watt hours, which is absolutely huge. My upgraded Surron battery, that's the 80 volt 45 amp hour, is only 3,600 watt hours. So it's nearly double that. and it actually is more than double than like a stock Eride Pro SS or a stock Talaria Sting MX5. So while you do suck a lot more juice with the big motor and the upgraded controller and the big heavy wheels and tires, along with just a heavier bike in general, you do get incredible range, which you guys again will see later on. Okay guys, it's me again. You gotta go click that link, enter to win the brand new Talaria Sting MX5. There is not very many people that have entered to win, so you guys have really good chances right now. Go get a shirt, go get entered. Back to the video. All right guys, we are now up on the mountain, and I gotta talk about what happened with this build because we kind of fell into a bit of a hole. And it was never our intention to do a build so crazy on an Ultra Bee. We really prefer the small bikes to a certain extent. It is super fun to have a huge bike like this and have the range and power that it now has to offer. But let's talk about what happened with this build. Our original intention was to buy an Ultra Bee, and the mods we knew we were gonna do was foot pegs, upgraded bar mount to get some more rise on it, and 18-21-inch wheels. That was our plan. That's pretty much the extent we wanted to go down. We were still going to do a graphics kit and do the orange wheels, but what happened was we ended up having an X9000 EBMX controller laying around that we took off one of our other bikes. So we're like, well, why don't we put that on? So then we did. And then Sirris called us and said, do you guys want the opportunity to test some of the Sirris suspension? We were able to get a good deal on that. So we're like, okay, well, we got awesome Ultra Bee suspension opportunity, let's go ahead and take it. So we took the Sirris opportunity. So with that, we got the Sirris fork and rear shock. And then what was happening is we were trail riding, and while our wheels were getting built, we were still having motor overheating issues, climbing steep terrain like this, and just basically climbing high altitude mountains. I think the stock motor does just fine when you are riding flat or not really pushing it that hard. So even before we got the upgraded battery, we were overheating our motor. So then we had a desire to get an upgraded motor at some point. And then we heard from EWA, and they were so generous in actually sending us out this battery for YouTube review. We had no intention of actually purchasing a battery because they're so expensive. I think it's worth the money to, you know, the right person, because the range that you can get on this bike is absolutely incredible. It's more range than you can get on pretty much any other model. So with that, we were stoked because I am always running out of battery. I always want to ride further than I can on the small bikes. So this is an opportunity to be able to do that. So once the battery came, then we reached out to Sotion. We said, hey, you know, we need an upgraded motor because our other one keeps overheating. So this is the FW01 Pro, and now we have that in. So, and then we talked about the Rhea, how we did swap that out from the Sirris because we wanted to give that a try. At the moment, I am preferring the EXT for the rocky, rooty mountains of Utah, but I do still want to continue to test the Sirris rear shock, so I'll probably swap it back at some point, and we're going to keep playing. I still want to soften the fork even more and be able to use more of the travel for this mountain riding. We don't motocross this bike. This is kind of a different style Ultra Bee build than a lot of people do. A lot of people build these to ride motocross jumps and whoops. That's not what we built this for. So now that we've kind of gone over what happened with this build, so now we need to go out and ride it and show you guys what it's all about. Right now, I'm going to insert some clips that I took the other night on a crazy night ride adventure that I did by myself. It was kind of stupid going out as far as I did, but I ended up doing close to 40 miles and I still had quite a bit of battery left. I don't know what I'm doing. Trail's right there, but it's all washed away. So I'm ended up out there. Now I gotta try to make it up this. You guys hear the wind in the camera? Sounds like a jet is flying next to me. Alright, our goal today is to try to rip to the top of the mountain as kind of as fast as we can and burn battery fast, because I want to see how this huge battery holds up riding quickly with the upgraded motor and controller, because the ride I did the other night on it, I was taking it more easy because I was in like a hike-a-bike situation on a trail that is not ridden very often, so I wasn't able to go as consistently fast as I will today. I don't think that gas bike rider liked me passing him like that. But I love it. I haven't really talked about what this whole setup is rated for power-wise. It's because to me, I don't really care. Because where I'm going to be riding this bike, I just can't use what power this bike can do. So at the end of the day, it's just turned down. The battery is rated for well over 30 kilowatts, as is the controller. I think the motor is probably our limiting factor still, even though it's upgraded. I think it is capable of the 28 to 30 kilowatt range, which is a ton still. I got my Moto 3 right now set to like 22 kilowatts, and we're gonna haul here and see how much battery we can drain. Right now I am already quite a ways up the mountain, and we're only at 87% still. I've probably climbed 2,000 or 2,500 vertical feet already and gone like 6 miles. So it's kind of crazy how big this battery is. I don't think that I would do an upgraded controller unless I was also going to do a battery and a motor. I think it's just not worth the power or performance increase with just a controller. That's just my opinion. You can pull more power, but I don't know. I think the stock controller also just does really well, you know, for trail riding and stuff. We made it to the top. Ultra Bee did great, and we are at 67% battery. We're about 12 miles in on this ride, and I think I can get back down to the valley below where I started, you know, about 12 miles away with only like 13%. So I realistically think I could do this ride twice, which is crazy. We've climbed about 5,000 vertical feet. So we'll end up being like, if you did this ride twice, and I was riding fast, that's 48 or 50 miles with 10,000 feet of climbing. So this battery is no joke. Shout out to eWatt. 80 volt 76 amp hour Ultra Bee battery is the way to go, and I love that it uses the stock plug, stock comms port, and the stock percentage display works on the display. Even though we're using an aftermarket controller, that's still hooked up because of the comms port, and it's actually reading the 80 volt battery accurately. If I were to pull up the AMP BMS app and connect it to the battery, it reads the exact same percentage as the display. To be honest, like, I love this build, but I would still rather have my Surron Light Bee that's fully modified, that purple one. I'd rather have that than this if I could only have one bike, because that, I think, does the stuff I want to do just as good. I love the range on this, but it's a tough call. I like the small nimble bikes for the crazy adventures I go on. That one I did the other night this bike was just too big and heavy, and it got me into some sticky situations where I almost couldn't get back out. I did some quick math on our build because I haven't added up, and I got really curious, and it's not looking good. This bike, if you were to build it, would be 17 or 18,000 to do all of these same parts, which again is just not really sustainable, you know, for the average person. I'm very lucky to be able to do this for YouTube, you know, and with promotions and things in exchange for videos. If you guys haven't entered already, it is, I believe, the last day today to enter to win the brand new Talaria MX5 that we are giving away. You guys got to go enter. That bike is super fun, absolute beast of a bike. Retails for $4,700, and you guys got to go enter. I hope our trail riding looks at least moderately technical and entertaining when we ride. It really is. And I can't even see the rocks that are in the trail because there's leaves on them now. So I don't know what I'm plowing into, but I just got to rely on this fork. Eat it up. Whoa, yeah. I do enjoy reviewing the stock bikes a lot more. With a build like this, you have to try to dissect what each small upgrade or big upgrade does, how it feels and how it changed the performance of the bike, and then decide if it's worth it. And it just starts getting crazy because of how much money it costs to do a build like this. We hope you guys realize that we're totally honest in these reviews, and if we don't like something, we're going to tell you about it. And we only sell products and promote products that we like and feel are worth the price point. All right, guys, it is time to wrap up this video. I appreciate you guys watching. Thank you so much for your support in watching the channel, supporting our online store. If you guys are interested in any of the parts on this bike or for your light e-moto, check out the link down in the video description. And if you haven't entered already, get entered to win our Talaria Sting MX5 that we're giving away. Giveaway ends today. Today's Halloween. I hope you guys have a great Halloween night. Don't have too much fun, but get entered to win that Talaria because it might just get delivered to your doorstep. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll catch you next video. See ya.